Good morning, guys. We're here at the Christmas tree farm that I'm getting ready to turn into a hayfield, and we got a John Deere and we got a John Deere, and we're going to spread some lime. I got my first pile of lime here, and I'm getting ready to use the skid steer, load the spreader, and start pouring it to it. I had guessed this place at about 30 acres, and there's actually only about 20 here according to the GPS. I don't know if the GPS, I'm not sure if it compensates for the land being on a slope, because everything here is it's much higher up here than it is down here. So it actually may be more than 20 acres by a little bit, but I don't know. The GPS showed 20 acres, so we got about 45 tons of lime coming, so I can get at least 2 tons to the acre on here. And here's my first 15, 16 tons of lime. So let's get it loaded up and start spreading. All right, so we're on a little tilt trailer here. Got it unlatched, so hopefully it'll dump me right off when I back up. It's kind of wet. It's been raining overnight a little bit, so I don't know how slick it's going to be this morning. Hopefully it ain't too bad. We're gonna find out pretty quick. Skid steer's spinning out a little bit. So it takes him about 2.5 hours to get a load of lime round trip. So what is it right now? It's 8:30 to 9, 10, 11. He should be back by about 11, 11:30. I should have, if I ain't got this spread by then, waiting on him again, I got a problem. A big problem. I should be able to spread this in about an hour or less. This is an 8-ton lime spreader, but I don't know that I'll fill it to its max capacity because it's so steep around here. This lime spreader with this tractor before, but I think this is the first time it's going to be on YouTube. Of course, the old T5 used to pull it all the time on YouTube, but this tractor will be its first time on YouTube. It handles it really, really well. It handles it a whole lot better than the T5, because obviously it's a whole lot heavier tractor than the old T5 was. And it's got more power, and it's just a better tractor all around. I mean, it is what it is. So far, anyway. I mean, there ain't anything about that tractor that I don't really like, to tell you the truth. I mean, everything works as it should. It doesn't make any funny noises, and it's got around over 500 hours on it. It hadn't had any trouble that I know of, and not any trouble since I've had it anyway. So we're in the tractor now, and one important thing I got to do here is set up for the GPS, and I do that by going to Equipment Manager. I have to choose, I need to add an implement. I have to choose the implement I'm pulling, and you can see I've got a list of some of my implements here that I already have measurements that I've taken. You know, I got a mower, chrome tedder, tie, no-till drill, 15-foot batwing, and there's the Stoltz lime spreader. So we're going to choose that, and it's telling me the working width's 40 foot. It needs to, the tracking spacing needs to be 40 foot too, and that's why it says update track spacing. So I'm gonna hit OK, and it's going to change the track spacing to 40 foot. And hit OK, and then we're going to go back out. Now you can see that I'm pulling the this was representing the spread of the spreader width right here. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll have it where when I turn the PTO on, I have a trigger. When I turn this PTO on, it's going to start coveraging. I've already got Bent Tree Farm, and I'm calling this place the Bent Tree Farm because it's on the Bent Road and it's an old tree farm, so that's what I named it. And when I turn the PTO on, it'll start putting coverage on the map, and I'll be able to see it. I'm not sure, there should be an outline here. Yeah, we already got an outline of this field. I'll back it out here so you can see what the shape of this field looks like. Backing it way out. So there we go. It's supposed to be about 20 acres here. Like I said, I think it's a little more than that because of the grade that's on this place and the rolling hills. But yeah, anyway, now this is all the area I got to cover, which is quite a bit compared to my little tractor and spreader down here. So anyway, let's get started and get this lime on here. All right, so I've got a track set to follow, and the GPS is what I'm talking about. Let me turn on the 4-wheel drive and turn on the PTO. See what speed we're going to be going here. Brakes is locking up on the trailer, which ain't a bad thing, I guess, but it's so slick that it's got them tongue brakes on it, and when you go downhill, it automatically locks the brakes sometimes, and then when it's slick, it'll slide the tires. All right, off we go. We're going. How fast are we going exactly? A little bit over 3. We probably need to be going about 3.5. There's 4. I've got the spreader wide open. Should put out about the right amount right there, according to my previous testing. I want to make sure to get plenty on here. I'd rather have too much on it than not put enough on it. GPS is trying to tell me where to go, how to get there. So this ought to be a fun day. I just get to ride around in my tractor and spread some lime. I like spread lime anyway. I ain't spreading fertilizer, but I like spreading lime. Most people are the other way around. Let's take a look at what we're doing back here. Can't really see the lime. Y'all probably can. I can see it coming out good, but I can actually see the ground color change as it's going out, so I know I'm getting plenty on it. I mean, with Stoltz Foods has a calculator online that you can go on and set your material weight, your spread width, and your speed, and it'll tell you exactly how much you're putting out at different speeds and different gate openings and all that. It's pretty neat because it's like an active chart where you can change the numbers yourself and tell it what you want it to what you want to operate at, and it can tell you what it's going to be putting out at those speeds and settings that you put this spreader on. And I think that's pretty cool. There's also a little chart on the machine, but I always like to get online and look at that one because it's got a lot more information in it. And this spreader, been pretty pleased with this spreader. It's done us well so far. I guess it's 2 or 3 years old now, and we had a smaller one just like this before this one. It was a 5-ton. This one's an 8-ton. The 5-ton done just as well. It just wasn't as big, and we wanted the higher capacity, so we traded it. They gave us basically what we had in it in the 5-ton one. We traded and got the 8-ton one, and it's just perfect for this size tractor and how much you can haul. Biggest thing about the 5-ton was you could put 5 tons of lime in it, which was a pretty good amount, but you can only haul like 3 tons of fertilizer, and this one will haul 5 tons of fertilizer. So there was quite a bit of difference in how much fertilizer it can haul. And I put out about 10 tons of fertilizer last year, which means I only had to go twice instead of 3 times. So anyway, we'll check back with y'all here in a few minutes. I'm gonna keep on spreading. You can see that I'm not following my track, but anyway, it looks to me like I'm following that track. I'm running a little bit too close to the edge, so I'm running a little bit more to the left of the track that I've got set, but I'll compensate for that. I can see where it's the blue is what's painting the ground where I've been. So everywhere I've been, I know exactly what's been spread and what hasn't, whether I follow the track or not. But anyway, I'll be back soon. All right, so I've spread 1 load now, and it says I've done 3.75 acres with the spreader running. So I'm on the way back to get the second load, which there isn't but 2 loads on this spreader and 1 dump truck load, so maybe not quite 2 full loads. And on the way back, I've been picking up some rocks and sticks and stuff that I've seen that were pretty good size that I needed to get rid of. So I got like a half a bucket full of trash in the front. But since I got plenty of time to spread this lime before the next load gets here, I thought I would spend my time wisely and try to pick up a few big rocks. I'm not getting like every little rock up. I'm just trying to get some of the, the massive rocks up and some of the stumps and junk. So, show you what I'm talking about here. Trying to get some junk like that up while I ain't got nothing to do. let's load up another load here, and this is all I got left. Should fill this spreader up one more time. So I must have not put half of it on last time, because I got a huge load on there this time. Had way more lime there than a half a load. I mean, half a load on the dump truck's what I mean. So yeah, she's well loaded. Be a good test for this tractor. So there's like 20,000 pounds hooked to the back of this tractor right now, but this tractor handles it really nice compared to what I'm used to anyway. It's just a whole lot better. Of course, it's a bigger tractor, more weight, more power, so it should do better. Really just getting started good here. This I ain't even made a complete lap around the field. I think I may stay. It gets real narrow up here. I think I may stay over here on this side and finish this field up while I'm over here, and then I'll go back over there and do the bigger side. This is kind of a smaller area that I'm in right now. I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'll just turn right here. And it is getting kind of steep right here. And I would have expected that thing to try to push me around what I just did, but it did not. You can see I've made a complete round around this area. We'll go ahead and finish it out, and then we'll move back to the big area. So I think lime, to get your pH right, is very important to hay growing, and well, it's very important to a lot of things in farming. But for hay, it needs to be about 6.5 to 6.8. I got some fields that are up at about 7 on the pH scale, but I hadn't done any soil tests here at this place, but I can just tell that it needs some lime because of what's growing here. I mean, it's mostly just briars and broom straw, and typically that's a pretty good indicator that you need some lime, because your land's getting pretty sour if you're growing that type of thing. Especially if you see a lot of broom straw, it's a pretty good sign that you need some lime. But not necessarily, but it's a pretty good sign that you do. And I'm sure this place hadn't seen any lime in years and years and years, because it's been a tree farm, and I don't think they I don't know a lot about growing trees, but I think they like sour dirt or acidic dirt, poor dirt, whatever you want to call it. It's just, I think the trees like that type of thing, so they intentionally don't put nutrients in the soil, and the trees actually do better, from what I understand. I'm not a tree expert, so anyway, so this land is run down pretty good, and hopefully we can get it built back up in a couple of years and get it to where it can be productive. It's not going to be productive the first year, I know that. It's probably not going to produce anything but crap. We'll probably have to bush hog it, but we'll just have to see what happens. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. Most of the time, new ground just don't do very well the first year or two sometimes, but eventually it'll get straightened out and it'll start doing stuff, and then keep putting fertilizer on it, and keep working with it till we get something growing that's good. That's how I do it anyway. I fixed a few places like this that were nothing but briars, and well, most of my hay fields when I got them were nothing but broom straw, and I've added lime till I've got the pH. I did do a lot of soil testing on my hay fields, and I'm kind of basing some of what I'm doing here off of what I've seen in my fields in the past. All of them, basically, the pH was basically about perfect on them, but I had limed them the year before, so I know that it needed the lime when I done it by what I was seeing in the signs of the soil, like the broom straw and poor yield. But what I didn't know that I was missing was a lot of potash. All my land needed potash, but everything else was pretty decent. It basically, all it needed was potash. I mean, it didn't need a lot of anything else. Of course, you always need to put down a good amount of nitrogen to produce hay, but potash helps too. So I did put down quite a bit of that for a couple of years. I think it is helping. It's not like an immediate result like nitrogen. It's kind of it kind of builds the land up over time, and then eventually your yield just starts going back up instead of spiraling down. So all these things are kind of important. I could do soil tests here, but I'm pretty sure that I know what it's going to take. I know that it needs lime. I know that it probably is going to need potash, and definitely nitrogen. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. This is how I'm going to try to get this land going again, is by adding those nutrients that's missing, which is what you do anytime you're trying to get something like this back into a condition you can use it for some sort of crop. Figure out what's missing and add it to it, which in this case I didn't really go out and investigate what's missing, but I'm pretty sure I know what's missing. So anyway, lime is a very important part of it. Spreading this lime, and I found something interesting, or seen something interesting over here in the woods, and I'm really not 100% sure what it is. but it looked interesting, so I wanted to come over here and look at it. It has a seat here, and it's got all these levers, and that one's froze up. They're all froze up. I don't know what they did, but there's I don't know. There's a wheel down here turned sideways. I'm sure somebody watching this knows exactly what this is. There's another one sitting right there. I don't know. It's got a wheel. It looks like it. Oh, I see what it is. It's got a sickle bar on it. Right here's a sickle bar. So it drove that way. That's the wheel, the big wheel. There's the small wheel. And it cut grass, obviously, and then I don't know what it did with it. It carried it up this way, apparently, and then I don't know what happened from there. Somebody out here can tell me what this done, I'm sure. I don't know. It may have bundled. It may have took the grass up here and then bundled it into a shock maybe and dropped it off, but I'm just speculating because I've never seen one of these before. And there's two of them here, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, I just thought it was kind of interesting to, I don't know what this was for. Maybe to hold some type of product that you might need to bundle the hay or whatever. But anyway, it's pretty neat. Must have been horse drawn, I guess. Looks like there's something missing up here. It's rotted away. It may have been a reel. May have been a reel on it. So, and it's what is it here? International. What's the International Harvester? That's a toolbox. I believe it's full of bees. Leave that alone. Wrong time of year for bees, but it looked like it was full of bees' nests. Okay. Well, I'm done spreading that load, so I got 2 more dump truck loads coming. I'll get those spread, so it's basically just going to be a repeat of what I've been doing. So, as far as this video is concerned, I guess we're going to end it. But I may go get the Massey Ferguson, hook it to a finish disc, maybe, if it ain't too wet. It is kind of sticky this morning, but it's supposed to be a nice day. And I might start doing some disking to incorporate this lime into the ground in the areas that I've already got the ground tore up anyway. So yeah, anyway, so we'll get back in the tractor here and go back up to the truck and figure out what we're going to do. Might go around and pick up some more rocks too. Okay, so I got all the lime spread, and the GPS showed it with overlap and everything about 23 acres. So I actually hit it pretty close to what the GPS had figured up. The way I done it to start with is I just drove the tractor around the field. Just drove it. It was a while back, and I just had the tractor and I drove it around the field, and the GPS took all the area inside of what I drove and calculated it out to be right at 20 acres. So when I spread it, I came up with 23 acres. So it's actually really close. By the time you figure how much driver error and overlap with the spreader creates more acreage, and the slope of the land creates more acreage. So anyway, I think it worked out just right. I had just the right amount of lime, maybe 2 or 3 tons left in the spreader when I got done. And I just went back over the worst looking areas with that. And yeah, so that's going to be it for spreading lime here. I guess we'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one.